A note on the party with Peter Sellers. This is wondrous comedy. I'm laughing just thinking a little about it, and it's wonderful how humor and comedies can help us boost our happiness level, well-being, and ultimately health, because they will help with the dopamine, serotonin, and all the other chemicals that help the activity of the brain and the body and all the rest. In fact, uh, there are some there is some research that proves that even knowing you will be watching a comedy later on will help, will improve your uh, satisfaction level and happiness in the end. And that's excellent. You don't even have to watch it, you have to know that it will be there later on in the evening, and it's good. In fact, knowing that, I made a point of including in the program uh, for the evening a comedy or some series, Two and a Half Men, or How Not to Live Your Life, Little Britain. And the party is there too. Peter Sellers plays, has a wonderful performance, like in other Lolita I've seen recently. With him, he's a great actor. Then there's of course Pink Panther uh, series. Being There is also a wonderful. In fact, Being There needs to be noted down because I have to think about it and put it somewhere at one point. So in here, he is an actor in the film. He plays an actor. The actor plays an actor. Hundi Bakshi. So he's an Indian who is a bit helpless, and he is on the set where by mistake he sets off an explosion. That used to cost a lot of money. It still does, even if there's special effects now, and it probably is not the whole amount they had to pay for a big thing to be blown up. Still, I understand they represent a big a proportion of the cost of big mega productions today. Anyway, so he's supposed to be fired. The producer talks to with the director. He notes down on a piece of paper like I'm trying here. But as I have here, it's probably if it's the same thing with the director. I mean, I write. It's true. This is just some to something to remember a name. Hundi Bakshi. I forget the name. I have it down, but then it's this is not necessary for a special file. It's not. It's irrelevant. So I can allow myself to put some notes which will be destroyed later on. And in that office, they should have been better organized because there's a disaster coming, even if it's funny for the audience. So this man puts down the name, but somehow he didn't see that there are 2 pages or something, and he added the name to the list of people invited for his party that night or the other night. And it's incredible. I can say without feeling guilty, I didn't include any spoiler alert because I'm not. On one hand, I'm not giving anything about the grand finale, but then also um, on the other hand, It's not a tragedy, a thriller where you say Mr. Johnson killed the woman. No, it's just an ever increasing chaos. Um, the explosion Bakshi, Hundi Bakshi, created on the sun is nothing compared to what he does in this otherwise sophisticated, interesting house. I was thinking, and I still believe this is as modern as it can get, even if the film was made, I don't know, 50 years ago or 40, it doesn't matter. With uh, control panel that made parts of the set, parts of the house move around, and fountain jets and things moving, changing. It was fabulous until, of course, the wrong man starts hitting the buttons. There's a, I don't know if you see them, they're a bit hidden by one of the trees inside, but there are two macaws back there. There's one in the film uh, who makes me think of mine whenever I watch it, and I've seen it 3, 4 times or so. I even remember because it's such a good feeling. It's such an experience, such a exhilaration and exalted times mood that I remember seeing one time. The rest have been, I know, on television, and I know how on a Sunday I stumbled upon segments from the film. The one where they're having a meal, dinner or something. Of course, Bakshi is extra. I mean, he wasn't really invited, if you remember. So they give him a small chair. They're all having good, decent chairs, and Bakshi has an addition which is small, and they're all where they should be with the table somewhere here. So, but for him the table is, and anyway, he doesn't cope with a knife and a fork. Supposedly he was using his hand. No offense here, but I could see in many films. I've seen Apu, two of the trilogy recently, and they eat with the hands. It's just a tradition that we have, like, well, in many parts of Asia. They eat with the sticks, and I still can't eat with chopsticks, and that's looks silly for them. So we shouldn't consider this as inappropriate. You don't know how to eat, and no, it's different habits, different traditions, cultures, and so on. And so he doesn't do well with it. And at one point, pressing too hard on the knife or the fork, the chicken, the whole breast, flies away and lands in the bandana or the head ornament that one woman is wearing. It's like it is a bigger piece of jewelry stuck in there at the table, and it's crazy. With a waiter is drunk and starts adding uh, to the commotion.